Yo, welcome to our very first Fast Break Basketball Live podcast. My name is Sohel, um, co-founder of Fast Break Basketball. I'm here with my partner. He goes by many names, many different names.
What's up,
So
everybody? How we
I'm gonna
doing?
let him introduce himself, you know, because I can't do those honors myself.
This your
So,
boy, Papa Guap, Hassani, Mo. Nice to see you guys. Welcome to our first episode. Glad to have you all.
uh, um, so we've been trying to do this podcast now for a few weeks. Um, as many of you know, uh, we also have a football league, you know, where we do a red zone football podcast. So I got this idea. Let's do one for basketball too. It's not going to be 2 hours like football. So, it won't go. I'm already past my bedtime. I'll tell you that much. So I had to take a nap. I'm, up, fresh, ready for this one. But as many of you know, Fast Break Basketball started a few months ago. We're in our second season right now. Um, we play Sunday mornings at in Brooklyn. Uh, uh, we got two divisions this year. We got 8 teams. So we hope you guys like what we're doing. We added something new weekly to look forward to, and we're just gonna discuss previous week's games, future week's games, discuss some league stuff, have fun, have guests. So just go with the flow. You know, and we're all here to take advice from you guys, recommendations, and you know Mo's Mo's the expert here, so he's the basketball expert. So I'm more like his partner here.
Nah, never that, never that. Lead ref
So
over here, Sohel, bro. Lead ref.
lead ref, you're
Give
about
him
to be my
props.
partner in refing too. How
Give
was
him
your class tonight?
soon. It was great, bro. It was great. We still learning fouls and stuff. Early. We gonna
What
find
was
out.
this, week 3 of basketball refing?
Week three, fellas. Y'all better ready next season. I'm about to suit up, be a zebra. Feel me?
We don't wear those colors though.
That's true. You're right. You're right. Fast break only.
But what's your thoughts on this season so far? Where we finished week 5. um it's flying by, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
How do you feel 5 weeks through the season with the two divisions and stuff like that?
I think what is it? You said week five. I was looking at standings right before we hopped on, and it looks like it's still anybody's game. I definitely know like there are teams that have their hot days, their cold days, but I like the fact that we've seen a few upsets coming up, which tells you the parity is good and anybody can really get it any day. Now, can I say that who everybody's my favorite for the contender? No, but listen, any given day, anybody get a win. So I like to see that. There's a few teams I want to see step up, so hopefully they can finish strong in the second half of the season.
Yeah, that's one thing. As co-partners, we're not going to give you predictions here, obviously. Our guests can give you predictions when we have them on, but you know, our our job is just to make sure everybody has fun every Sunday. And I've told you guys that too. When you guys come up on Sundays, we like when it gets really competitive, edgy, and stuff like that. Yo, it's Sunday morning basketball. Have fun. There's no cameras besides the one that goes live on YouTube. So, but yeah, I mean, the last couple of weeks we've had a lot of upsets, which is it's good to see, um, and in a way where even the higher divisions are losing to lower divisions, but it just shows you how close in competition and skill set the two divisions really are. But we did have to separate a few of the teams just to make it more fun for everybody and to give more teams a shot at winning, basically. Um, but like last week, it was good to see. I think it was high Q. I think, in my opinion, we could get right into it now. Let's just start last week's games. Um, in my opinion, in the two seasons we have, it was probably the best game I've ever seen. Um,
mm,
high Q, led by Oasis, um, against our brand new team, Bayside Wolves, led by Anthony. and our boys that play in red zone, Christian, um, and uh, he wasn't there last week, but that's his boys also. Um, literally came down to the last second shot by Zane. Talk about it. Mo also takes stats for our league. I ref. So on this podcast, I'm not wearing the ref hat. All right, I'm talking as a fan and as a commissioner. So talk about the game, what you saw.
I mean, man, look, I think we have two well balanced teams. We got some shooters, we got some defenders. It was a high scoring game. 70-71, and 2 20-minute halves. It's not easy. I definitely think the first half was a little slow. Both teams got hot in the second half. I remember looking at the stats. Anthony and I think Zane and Ani from High Q side both torched it from three. That last pass by waist, ooh, gutsy. Zane hit a big shot. And granted, Wolves are no joke, right? Their big man, I forgot his name. He's been putting in work. One of
Javier.
the best big Javier, one of the best big three big man shooters out there. So I definitely could see them. Um, turning it up the next few weeks. But shout out to wasting the game, man. They fought through and through. They've been missing bodies. They've been banged up. So it was a good, good win for them, honestly.
That's two in a row for High Q. I think last week they beat. I forgot who they beat. I gotta check the schedule, but it was a
I'll
good
check
win
right now. I
last
got
week,
you. Yeah.
also without a waste there, and they're getting hot at the right time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Zane, he was sort of quiet all game. Um, hit a couple of shots before the big one, and he's a quiet guy in general. He didn't even celebrate, to be honest with you. He was like, "Yo, that was nothing." And I asked him after the game. He was walking off the court. I'm like, he's like, "That's nothing. I've done that before." I'm like, "All right." So humble guy, big shot. Like you said, they got some big shooters. They got Ani, quick release. First game that we ever played, he had like 6 threes in that game
Yep.
when he was playing for his old team. And speaking of Bayside Wolves, man, Anthony hits some deep threes. I'm not gonna lie.
Every game.
That
Every
every
game. Yeah.
Kevin, big time shooter, big time baller. Also, good
Yep.
complementary players to Javier, who can do everything.
Yeah.
He can drive to the basket. He can hit the big threes, rebounds. He can dish the ball. He always commands a double team.
Mm.
So, he's a solid centerpiece you can build around, and they built a good team around him where he doesn't demand the ball, you know, and he's happy with the shots he gets, and he compliments the guys around him. So, but like you said, like, probably the best game we've had so far. But I don't know what else I can say about this game. Go watch it again on YouTube. It was one hell of a game from start to finish. Um, and nothing to take away from Bayside. They've had a couple of close losses. Last week, 2 weeks ago, Javier wasn't here,
Yeah.
and they still fought hard with the short team that week also.
Mm-hmm.
So but they'll they'll be there, competitive. Might end up second or third in that division. It's only four teams in the division, so 1 through 4 is so tight. You don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs. To be honest with you.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like you said, any given night, anybody on that team, honestly, both teams can light it up. It takes one shot. So I'm excited to see how they bounce back from this week.
Um, moving on, 3 more games to go. Um, our next game, I think, a little bit of a blowout, but it was the number one team from our higher division, Free Smoke, versus a very deep team, a team that loves playing basketball 7 days, 8 days out of the week, um, off ball. I met these guys myself a few months ago for the first time. Great group of guys, and you know, the captain, led by Ash, um, who I want to give the honor of being our very first guest as well on the podcast. I'd like to bring him in now. Um, so, welcome, Ash, to our
What's
very
up,
first
bro?
podcast. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about
You're
this.
more
Of
professional
course.
than
I'm
we
not
are. You got
excited
a
about the
professional
Yeah,
score.
mind
yeah.
and everything, bro.
I'm not excited about that score that we've seen in the middle, but I'm
Yeah.
excited to be here, chat it up with you guys.
I love the mic.
Oh,
Ash,
appreciate
Ash said this before, right? You've done this before.
it. No,
I
and
was gonna
before
say
we
you
start,
look
I
more
just want to
professional than
talk
we
about
do.
the chat real quick. I mean, like Hassani, like you're getting a lot of compliments, especially about your looks.
Oh yeah, listen, man, it's not me, yo. Bless you, yo.
He's used to
Whoever
that.
doing that, yo. I appreciate it, fellas.
Yep.
So Ash, I know you don't want to come under these circumstances, like you said, a tough loss, but like you said, free smoke, solid, higher division team. Almost made the championship last year, like you guys did in the semi. They lost in the semifinals last year. Um, but before we get into the game, let's talk about the good stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about yourself, your team, um, and how you guys formed, how long you guys known each other, and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, for me, I kind of live and breathe basketball. So, like, every day, like, I work at the NBA. We play, we definitely play like 3-4 times a week. So, for us, we started about, softball started about 3 years ago, where we were kind of creeping into our 30s, and we were just out of shape. We were just like, not feeling good, in terms of like feeling as active as before, being sedentary. So yeah, so we started just like renting out courts. It started off as one day. We started getting like so much like traction. Our Discord chat, where we kind of house everything, it's grown up to about like 90 members who are actively trying to play every week. So as of now, Mondays and Thursdays, that's kind of like our bread and butter, where our players know, okay, open runs these days, it's like, we get to play, we get to chill. We also get to just like, spend time with each other and like, improve our mental health as well as our physical, you know.
It's,
And
that's a great thing. I wanted to ask you
Love that.
before you continue, where did the name All Fall come from?
yeah, so we have a couple of leaders, on the team, or on like as part of the administration. We didn't think this was gonna be anything, and we didn't have a name. So maybe like, we started about 3 years ago. Maybe 1 year ago, we kind of settled on the name. So we had maybe like 10 that we wanted to choose from, but the branding behind it would be just like, like people don't like who don't necessarily have the ball in their hands all the time, who could play their role, who could set off ball screens, come off of curls, like do the dirty work. And yeah, for us, we really wanted to build the brand and like the team nature off of that.
Okay.
That's
Mhm.
fine, bro. I love that.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
How'd you
And
meet
you can
Mo?
honestly see it the way you guys play. How do we meet,
I,
Ash?
Do you want to go into that, or should I?
I feel like, honestly, no, you go ahead. Go ahead. It's your mic. Go ahead. Your turn.
All right. Yeah. So it's definitely a small world, right? Like I mean, obviously, like, I met Mo or like Hassani like in person playing ball during a Sunday run. But even beyond that, like one of my best friends, Parvez, very close with Hassani as well. So just like, definitely made sense, like, how close we've gotten, just like based off of like Parvez being such a good dude, and then like us just like sharing this love of basketball.
Yo, shout out to Professor for putting us on. I know he's not watching, but we love you, bro.
He's probably asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're gonna clip this and
Um,
send it to him. Don't worry about it.
yeah, 100%.
Just side note, I'm still waiting for my invite because I'm not on Discord. I'm too old for that. I don't do Discord.
I
My
told him.
son
I
does. My
told him.
son does it.
I'm
So
telling you, like, I think people call it old, but like, it's a great way to just organize our conversations.
no, I'm old. Discord is for the young people. I said.
It's different, bro. It's different.
Mhm.
But yeah, listen, man, Ash, you talked about the runs, so kind of walk us through, like how you see it evolving. How did it go from like one
Yeah.
or 2 weeks to like this thing? How long has it been now? You said
Yeah,
how,
3 years. 3 years.
3 years, right? How did you keep it? How's it growing? And
Yeah.
you guys have a good group. I don't see you guys fighting, even though you guys play, right?
Yeah.
Nobody complaining about minutes or shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
upset
So
when you lose, but you don't see the other stuff. How do you
yeah,
build
yeah.
like a culture like
Yeah, I mean, dude, I wish I could take credit for all of that, but like honestly, it's because of the players that we have. They're like all of them are chill dudes who just want to go have fun, not complain about calls. I've been to other runs before where like where the play could just stop because people are arguing about a travel call for 5 minutes, right? Like none of that stuff happens, yeah. And in terms of growth, right? Like, I think we're at a good space in terms of how we're growing. Some of us have taken leadership, like, ability, like it's like leadership within like our social media as well, being able to grow that. I think we're about like 300 followers now. And we're definitely looking out to like, to increase that and to like, basically like, be a well-known community in the New York area, right? With that growth, and with how consistent our events are, we've been able to get some sponsorships too. And so
Nice.
I actually have, our guys right here, once
Oh
upon.
snap! This is a paid
so
advertisement.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm
I,
using you guys. Yeah, here you go.
I see that on Instagram. I'm still waiting for a bottle on Sunday morning.
I will get you a whole
I've been
case.
asking for one.
Yeah, I will get you a whole case.
But
No.
let me ask you, in regards to the Sunday team now.
Mhm,
You guys have a full roster, 12 guys.
mhm,
You said you got 90 guys on your runs on Mondays and Thursdays.
mhm.
Did you have to select out of a certain amount which 12 guys you wanted to choose for the Sunday morning team?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure more than 12 guys wanted to play from the runs if you asked all of them.
Yeah. I mean, so a lot of the preference we gave to our OGs, so some of the guys that have been with us for a long time, the people who are most consistent as well. But honestly, it was kind of an easy decision to like, kind of get to these 12 guys, right? So it's like people who have been in my life since high school, since childhood, since college, and yeah, it was definitely easy. It was definitely easy to pick, a really good group of guys who are very unselfish, because we know, okay, like, yeah, like 12 or like 10 to 12 people is a lot for a rec league team, and people are not going to get as many minutes as they would on a different team, right? So trying to get the most like unselfish guys who are willing to just like put it out there for every single minute that they're out there.
Yeah, I can testify. I've seen you guys play over 12 games now, 13 games almost.
Mhm,
That I've never heard anyone complain about minutes.
mhm.
I've seen coach not come into a game multiple times, and he's
Yeah.
still fully enthusiastic into the game. Um, you
Shout
Shout
out
guys,
out
to
Herb.
Herb.
Yeah,
Shout
shout out
out to
man,
Herb.
Herb.
Mhm,
a great dude. I mean, he's calling lineups in and out, guys in and out, keeping guys fresh, and it's not easy to do.
mhm.
To keep everybody happy. So shout out Herb. I know you're listening. Um, and every week is a different lineup. I know you guys probably look at your opponent and be like, "Yo, these are the starting five. These are the best five to start with this game," and it might not always work out. So, transitioning into last week's game,
Yeah.
um, tough loss, um,
Mhm,
and you guys held a defensive game the first 10 minutes. It was pretty tight, low
mhm,
scoring game, the off ball brand kind of game.
mhm.
Defensive, low scoring, and then the turnover started.
Right.
And first thing I noticed was one of your players, Rob, probably the best player on the team after Jose, or
Mhm,
1A, 1A in my opinion.
mhm.
I've never seen him so frustrated with you guys.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
and I was surprised to see um, that emotion out of him. He's usually the cool, calm, collected guy.
yeah.
Was he? And I asked him. I think it was Jose I interviewed at halftime. Was he more upset at the way you guys were playing, or was he more upset because you guys weren't executing the game plan? What was going on?
Yeah. It's definitely a combination of both. I mean, first of all, shout out Rob. He's actually my trainer as well. So being able to play with him has been really fun. And the both of us are from the Bronx, right? So we definitely get a little chippy. Um, you know, and did it surprise me that he was upset with us losing? I would be, like it would not make sense if he was not upset, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, just like, a combination of like, okay, we are 5 games in. We I think we did, for the first season, we were able to establish our identity as a
Hmm.
defense first team, as a
Hmm.
team that's tough, as a team that's always hustling and being an intelligent team.
Yeah.
And so far this season, we've kind of struggled to match that identity, right? So especially just like on Sunday, Free Smoke was able to pass the ball very freely, bring the ball up, like bring the ball down, set up their offense, and be the ones who are controlling the pace, right? And that's something that we try to like take advantage of, right? Where we get to control the pace, we get to control the physicality. So just like I know it looked visible for Rob, but all of us were fuming, and like all of us need to kind of get back on the drawing board and like rediscover identity. And hopefully we get to start again like this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not used to seeing Rob showing his emotions on his
Mhm.
sleeve, so I was surprised by that. But it's like you said, when you have expectations, you're going to be upset when those expectations aren't met.
Mhm.
And me personally, when I was on the court, I didn't see Dame, their big man, Free Smoke's big man on the court. I was like, yo, Rob's going to have a big game.
Mhm.
Pablo's going to pull down like 15 boards. It's
Mhm.
going to be a closer game than I thought. Even myself, I was a little disappointed. I'm not going to lie to you. What about you, Mo?
Oh, we all were. We all were. Mhm.
I mean, listen, man. Shout out to Free Smoke because I know they're gonna be watching. But look, I think every time, even last season when you guys played each other, it was a good game. It was a gritty game,
Yeah.
and like so, when you touched on, right, you guys have all the pieces.
Mhm.
I do feel like this season is a little, off the rails, but it's not a bad thing, right? It's just growing pains,
It's
It's
still,
just
yeah,
second
like,
season.
yeah, to us, the season is still starting, right? We
Yeah,
have 5 games left to figure it out. That's 5 weeks,
exactly.
right?
You guys are banged up,
Mhm.
injuries, missing players. It happens, bro.
Mhm.
I think it's just understanding what happened. And then,
Yeah.
shout out, my son said we are watching. Who's Sambo?
That
um,
sounds like
and,
Smiley.
of course it is. So that's it. Just figure out what the next step is. And I think you guys have a good head on your shoulders. And like
Yeah.
you said, man, if Rob wasn't upset, somebody should be. Somebody
We
should
we
be.
were all upset. We were
Yeah.
all upset.
The score does not reflect how close the teams actually are on paper. But it's one game, so one game doesn't
Yeah.
decide it all. So I'll just say
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, yeah. We're definitely going to give credit to where it's due. Our opponents came out tough, right? So moving on from that, the best thing we could do is just prepare for the next game.
100%.
Um, Speaking of the next game, do you have time to stay with us, discuss other games, next week's games for a few more minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Um, so let's go on to I think Bullets versus Kingsman will be the next
Ooh, spicy
good
game.
game. You want to give a quick recap, Mo, about this game?
Sure. So, just for the people watching, Bullets are in the lower division for this season, although, they are arguably just as competitive. Kingsman, might have come with the most bolstered up roster. Shout out to Kibria, one of my favorite captains. And, the last few weeks, they've been missing guys, injuries, vacation. And this game, it looked like they were going to run away with it, the Kingsmen, but Bullets had a lot of grit, and they were able to pull away with a really, really close dub. And it was arguably just another good game, just as good as the first one we had. But Bullets are deep. Goldie has been leading the way, scoring. But Ali always shooting it from like half court every game. God knows how many threes he hits. Christian runs the fast break well. Sati grabbed the rebound. They were missing E2. But Kingsman, listen, Eli, I think he had like 24, 28. Man, that's a tough man. I remember he went for the three in the end. I think they were only down by two. He tried to pull up for the quick three. That's a gutsy shot. So I'm not gonna, I think it was a tough one that they got away with it. But Bullets they're fighting hard, man. They've been on a good roll. I think they're 4-1 right now, right? So I'm about to
Two.
check.
They lost two in a row. They're three and
They
two.
lost two in a row. Okay, okay,
Kingsman.
okay.
Yeah,
Kingman lost two in a row. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Bullets
Bullets
are
are 4-1. Yeah,
they're 4-1, man. Listen, they're
correct.
competing.
Um, Ash, do you guys watch the other games, or do you guys
Yeah, well,
assist?
when it comes to scouting, yeah, we do our best
Yeah.
to watch it. 'Cause I know like Herb and a couple other guys are watching all the games and coming up with scouting reports for us.
Yeah, so they picked up Smiley from in this game. Kingsman picked up Smiley because they only have four guys. Um, so he played basically 80 minutes back to back. And it came down to a last inbounds play.
Mhm.
Cross the court pass for an inbounds. Uh, tough catch to make. So the ball went out of bounds. He stepped on the line. Refs called him out. Tough break, and then, but all in all, they played Iron Man. They hung in there, like you said. Eli balled out. Soto also solid player.
Mm-hmm.
And Kingsman got so many guys they can go to on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even though Eli's their, slasher, shooter, but, like you said, Gabriel can score, Soto can score. They got so many guys, man.
Yeah, man.
If
They're missing like half their team, and it was a
if,
4-point game.
if their full team shows up like they did week one, that's a scary, scary team. And they lost their big
Probably.
man because he separated his shoulder 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Get better.
Prayers
shout
to
out
him,
to
man.
him.
Yeah.
Praying for a fast recovery to him as well. Bullets, we known from other leagues. They got. Me and Mo talked about it for a couple of weeks. They're like, should we move the Bullets up? Should we not? We're like, it's the first season. Let them hang in D4. Even though we know where the guys can compete in D3.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, Chris, Ali, E, Goldie, and the list goes on and on
Mm.
and on. These guys are proven ballers. They know how to play, and they play well together because they had that camaraderie. Chris I'd never seen before. First time I seen Chris play, and
Yeah.
great dude on and off the court. Doesn't talk,
Yep.
you know. So, and by the way, Chris, next time I interview you post game or halftime, give a shout out to your clothing line, man. I was checking it out on Instagram. So, and that
He
goes
had
for
a good
everybody.
interview. Yeah.
If you guys got something to shout out, just give it a shout out. Don't be shy about it.
I just want
But
to talk Goldie's numbers for the season. He's averaging almost 20 and 15 for the season. So he's not even a traditional big man, but he's really grabbing everything up there.
and it's a quiet 20
Yeah,
every week,
yeah, he racks it up, man. He racks it up.
and rebounds too.
Yeah.
He got that soft touch in those layups. So, but
Uh,
I don't know. I mean, Bullets are gonna be there. They're in your division, Ash. What do
Yeah.
you think about the Bullets?
Yeah, we were able to play them last week. Very good, disciplined. Also very good at shooting as well. For us, it was a closer game, and I believe at one point it was tied 30 up, and then they went on a 10-0 run on us, right? Where we gave them where at the time maybe we felt like okay, we were right on them, but because of their shooting, I feel like we almost have to next time we play them, just not give them any. It's like not give them any space.
Yeah.
So
They
definitely a
pulled
learning
away.
lesson for
Yeah.
us.
They pulled away with about
Mhm.
5-6 minutes left in the game. I remember.
Yeah.
It was a tight game, so it should be. I think you guys play them again in a few weeks, so it should be a good rematch.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Definitely a fun team to play against too.
yeah. So, moving on to our very last game of the day, Crash Outs versus Broadway Hoops.
yes, sir.
I'll let you take it with this one too.
Listen, I think so. This was Carl's first game back for all season from Crash Outs, and they were missing Nick, but it didn't look like they were missing him too much. I don't look like Carl was hurt, man. 24 points. What am I like? 13 rebounds, 6 steals. He does it all. I think he sets the tempo for the team. He's a menace in the perimeter. Gobbles up every steal. Broadway Hoops Club. Oh my God, man. They night and day. I'm sure they could tell you the same. Look like a different team. Last week, moving the ball well, limited turnovers. Everybody was hitting good shots, quality looks. This week was a little different. I feel like they just couldn't get in rhythm. It's one game, but it's hard. You gotta come prepared when you play these teams. Crash Outs, they made the chip last year, right? And they know what it takes to win. So I will say it's another game. I didn't expect the score to be this far off.
Yeah. Broadway Hoops. They were coming off a 2-game winning streak, weeks 3 and 4. Week 4 was a huge win for them. Big upset. I forgot who they played, but they were excited after the game. And I felt they underestimated Crash Outs a little bit because of their record. They were
Mm,
0-4. And I don't think they expected Carl to be there. I think they
mm,
expected Nick to be there. And they probably had a plan for Nick, instead of Carl. And I think that
okay.
was the difference. Um, that score might seem like a lot, but the game was a lot closer than 17 points. I feel like Crash House pulled away at the end, but it was a very slow start to both teams. And then second half it picked up where Crash Outs just kept that. Well, Carl made sure the Crash Outs kept their foot on the pedal,
Yeah.
and they got their first W.
Yeah.
Speaking of Carl, man, he filled up that stat sheet fast last week.
Yeah.
Um, Post game, if you guys watched, he didn't play the first 4 weeks. He hurt his ankle in the semifinals last season, and he played in the finals with a bad ankle. So he just wanted to recover, and he seems like he recovered properly. You know, seems like a smart dude. He's like, let me do this the right way. Let me come back 100% instead of 75 or 70%. Hurt it again. Um, Smart move. Come back fresh legs. Second half of the season. So Crash House might be 1-4, but they're definitely not going to be acting like they're 1-4 with Nick and Carl 1-1A,
Yep.
and they got Black, um, uh, Ray, Ray with
Yeah.
that, Ray with the fadeaway
Double clutch
layups.
layup. Yep.
Yeah, man,
Yep.
that's a tough shot every week that he makes.
Honestly, shout Ray was also banged up all season. He was banged up last
Yeah,
season too. So it's good to see the guys coming back strong from injuries because you hate to see that. It's part of the game, but I'm glad to see them up and moving well always. But always competing. Ray's been a great coach, keeping his team on track from day one, making sure everybody knows their role, does their job. And man, listen, that was a chip team last season, right? A few moments away from winning
yes.
that. So
One
they
point
know what it
loss,
takes
right?
to
One
get
or
there.
2 point loss.
Yeah, it was a close game, so I expect them to turn it around now, especially with the whole, healthy squad.
Yeah. Ash, have you guys played Broadway hoops yet?
We played them in the first week. Yeah.
And you guys won, I think, the first week. And I think
No,
you
no, no.
guys.
So yeah, so that week we were down all of our bigs, and kind of scrambled to like get some subs. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so Broadway Hoops gave us the business the first week.
But I remember you guys played Crash Outs and you beat them pretty handily, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and that was with Nick there, without Carl there, obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, definitely Carl makes a lot of difference, right? Like he does so many little things. Like I know you went over his stats, but I'm sure like if, like the way that like we I feel like the way that we kind of view him as a player, he does so many other little things that contribute to winning. So like
Mm,
shout at him for coming back. He did roll his ankle against us, in the
oof.
playoffs, and then powered through it, and then
Yeah,
like had like a really good second half for them. So definitely a lot of respect to Carl.
Carl's the defensive coordinator.
Hmm.
Um, he tells guys, he forces the guys to communicate on the court.
Hmm.
I feel when he wasn't there, I felt like nobody was really talking for the Crash Outs.
Hmm.
Ray tried from the sidelines when he wasn't playing, but it wasn't the same thing, you
Hmm.
know. And offensively, fast break, Carl's taking it coast to coast.
Hmm.
Um, and if the defense settles in, he makes sure the possession's not wasted on offense either. So
Hmm.
he's that general you need on the court, to lead the soldiers into battle. And the Crash Outs are going to be a hard out. Whoever is the number 1 seed, if they do end up the number 4 seed, we don't know, obviously, but whoever they play, they're going to be a hard team to take out. Um, they got the players to, I think, make it back to the championship. So
100%.
um, so
I
those are
do
our
agree,
four
bro.
games. Yeah, those are our 4 games from last week, week 5. We're halfway there, but I wanted to bring up something that we've been dealing with this season. Before we get into next week's games, Mo doesn't know what I'm about to bring up, um,
Surprise.
and it's you know it's about playing the five on any of the teams, and the five is the center role, the big man role. Um, you know, these are the bruisers, the guys who take the most hits. Usually, you end up with a scratch or two or a couple of bruises on your arms, a bad back or something like that. Um, Listen, if you're playing the five on your team, expect the physical contact. All right. And what I mean by that is you're gonna and no one plays dirty in the league. That's one thing I noticed. No one's taking cheap shots at nobody.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm gonna put my referee hat on right now. Um, I try to let the bigs play as hard as they can and get up to that point where they don't cross it and I don't gotta blow the whistle, right? I like as a ref, I'm not trying to disrupt the flow of the game with ticky tack calls. And as a commissioner, I want there to be a flowing game. You know, I don't want to call every little thing, or have every little thing called where there's no flow to the game. Guys are like, what the hell's going on? You're calling it for them, you're not calling it for us, and this and that. So, you know, my last point before I hand it over to you two, if you're a big on the team, don't get upset if you get hit, you know, and don't get frustrated if you're losing by 15, 20 points, um, and ruin a good Sunday morning for your own teammates, for the opponents in general. You know, come out, have fun. Um, no one got a bullseye on anybody else, um, to take them out or put a hit on nobody like that. So, what do you think, Mo?
I mean, look, man, I always say I think it's really hard to ref bigs. I'm not a ref, but being around the game, I do feel, it's as a if you're undersized and you're guarding a big man, 9 times out of 10, you get away with a whack in the elbow, a shove from the back. And as a big, if you retaliate, it's hard, right? I think if you've seen like the NBA, it's almost similar to watching like how Dwight or like Embiid or these guys are ref. Like if they push somebody half their size, the reaction is going to be really dramatic. But I think you said it well, right? We want to make sure the game's played well. Obviously, it's not perfect. I miss things, so miss things. We're gonna miss it. It doesn't mean we want you guys to get hurt or anything. In the negative aspect, but we just want to have people play fun. It does get physical, it gets competitive. I think there are a lot of times we let you guys play. There are times where we intervene. We don't want to do that, man. We don't want to babysit. We don't want to hold hands. We want you to play, get your 40 minutes in, get your cardio, get that dub or whatever, and then leave. And again, if we do miss up, that's on our fault. So we apologize. But at the same time, it's tough, man. It's tough. Being a big man, you can't really win, So, shout out for y'all still coming back and playing hard, grabbing the rebounds, hitting those, nasty N1s. And hopefully you get rewarded for being in the paint. But we recognize it's not easy, So shout out to all you guys.
Like off ball, they got Pablo. He probably plays a power forward position.
Yeah.
And you got Rob. I think Rob's is an unconventional five because he could be a small forward, he could be the point guard, shooting guard, he could play every position. What do you think about that, Ash?
Yeah. First of all, with the calls, right? Just from a player's perspective, it's I will mention that sometimes it's tough to understand. Okay, how is the game kind of being called like that day? How is it being called for each player? And that's just something that we have to develop that skill to understand how it's being called and use that to our advantage, right? So for our bigs, right, like Pablo, Rob, they, I feel like Pablo, I feel like the other teams have starting to understand his game, and they kind of game plan for him that he's always going to crash. He's going for the offensive rebounds. He's boxing out. So, I think the next step in Pablo is just being able to adjust to the other team's adjustments there.
Yeah.
Then and with Rob, especially on the he's a he's a complete player, right? So defensively, he's giving you his all there. Offensively, he's able to make cuts, hit and ones inside, hit the midi, hit threes, right? But I do think there's another layer to his game that I think we could unlock moving forward as well.
Sounds good. Um, Mo, anything else you want to bring up?
I mean, look, I think Pablo is one of the best rebounders in the game. You know, I always say it. I'm like, if he was able to, he probably averages a rebound a minute when he's on the floor.
He had 19 rebounds the other day.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, so I don't know if teams got to put a body on him, but listen, when he learns how to untap that putback, watch out. You know, it's scary. And Rob, listen, you guys said it all right. It's really not what he doesn't do. It's just, he does a little bit of everything. You know, I do think that's it's a lot. It's a lot for him to do. But he's doing a good job at it. He plays hard. That's really it. You know, you can't teach effort, right? They say it in the NBA a lot. You can't really do it. But you know, you have guys that crash the glass, and they crash the glass hard, man. And it shows up in the stats, you know?
Yeah, and he brings an intensity that that only he can bring.
Yeah.
You know? And we miss that the days that he's not here.
For sure. Speaking of Rob and off ball, next week I'm looking at schedule. You guys are playing at 10 o'clock. Bayside Wolves. High scoring team. Good perimeter shooters. Big man inside, Javier, who he put on some moves last week. You know, he apologized on his social media for some abuse against the elder statesman in the league from High Q. But what do you look forward to in this game next week?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, shout out Haiku for their win last week. I mean, we know those guys. Some of them ball with us too, Mondays and Thursdays. So so outside of us, we're always rooting for Haiku, and just like amazing play by them. Now for the Wolves, I do have to say, we've seen some of their games just like up close, but I think like during the week. Herb, Gordon, Adil, Ashif, like all of them are gonna look at film, come up with a game plan for us to execute. But I do want to harp on just defensively, right? Like how we intend to play. We definitely intend to play with more intention, with being locked in defensively and being able to just control that. Offensively, it's still a work in progress for us. So we'll definitely do our best and try our best there. But I think. First and foremost, come out defensively with the intensity that we expect, and see where we could go from there.
Okay, I want your opinion because Mo and I can't give opinions on games, as I stated before. Based off the records of these other 3 games, where do you see an upset happening?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at so the other 3 games, not just us, right?
Not your game. I know you think you're going to win, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm looking at, depending on Crash Out's health, I'm looking at that game. But obviously I'm looking at the 11 o'clock slot too. High Q. Awais, Ibby, Eric, Zane, like everyone, Ani, like everyone's gonna come to ball. Everyone's gonna be prepared, and like I will always put my money on them.
So I can hear Smiley in my ear yelling right now.
Nothing against and nothing against Free Smoke.
Listen, they live up to their name. Shout out to Free Smoke. I know y'all watch it.
See, Free Smoke's philosophy is the world against us.
Yes, sir.
No,
they're used to this. They're used to it.
The whole podcast so far, I've been I've been complimenting them. I've been talking about the play. Like this one comment of just supporting my guys. I really hope they understand.
You giving them a chip early. They're gonna come with a chip on their shoulder already. Oh my god. About to clip this. Look at it.
No, like Free Smoke is fun, and I'll give them this. They play the right way. I think like the way that they communicate with each other, being on the same page, it really shows. Yeah.
They hold each other very accountable on the court, and everyone knows their roles. And shout out to Gilo, Angelo, Alex, man. I never seen a man steal so many rebounds off of other people's stats in my life than I seen Alex do.
Yeah.
I know Mo's about to put down the rebound, and he looks up, and Alex got it in his hands.
Bro, both honestly, both of them playing bigger than their body. I think Alice
Mhm.
floated with a triple double last week. Smooth, man, finding the right people at the right place in the right time.
Hmm.
And Jello fighting with every big man I know. They were missing Dame, but it really didn't feel like that. All the rebounds were going to these guys. So they play tough, bro. They play physical. They play the whole 40 minutes. You don't get that. A lot of teams might give up, but they play to the clock end.
Hmm. Shout
Yeah,
out
I mean,
them.
we didn't talk
Yeah.
about free smoke, but we could spend a couple of minutes on them.
Oh
Captain
boy.
is Smiley. My man has a quick release on the three. Uh, you know, flick of the wrist. He's never seen three that he doesn't like. Let's put it that way. Um, they play team defense. Even getting the ball in inbounds is sometimes trouble for their opponents. If they need to full court press, they know how to do it properly. Um, they 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 play such great defense. It doesn't take away from their offense on the energy side. Um, they go full force on the offensive side as well, and I feel like one feeds off the other and vice versa, where it's a quick steal transition offense. Boom, you know they could be down six, they could be up six within a minute or two. That's how that team is built. So um, I think they're just looking for retribution from last season, losing a close game in the semifinals, getting back to this playoffs this season again, and trying to take it two steps further, not just making a chip, but winning the chip this season. So Free Smoke started a little slow, but they are where they should be, in my
Yeah.
opinion, with the team they built. And I think it's John they picked up, right?
Yeah. JD.
Solid, solid pickup this season. Um, you know, and when Ike didn't come back this season, who was their leading scorer last year, I thought they would take a step back offensively, but you know, to my surprise, they haven't missed a beat. So shout out to the captain, um, Smiley, brother Moody, and all those guys from Free Smoke doing a great job this season.
Yeah, man. I'm just looking at their season. 3 out of their 4 wins, I think, are all blowouts. So
Yeah,
they put the pedal to the metal. And honestly, I do want to talk about, the progression, right? Like you mentioned, their leading scorer, honestly, I think the best guard last season, stepped away. Um, Smiley kind of stepped in. He's averaging like 16 points a game. And he's doing it. We talked about the jump shot. He's going to the rack. He's cutting, hitting the free throws. He's doing a little bit of everything,
yeah,
But, everybody here plays a big role. They missed Dame last week, but that man gobbles up every rebound. Gilo, we talked about it. Moody, really the commander in chief. I think he's a coach or like a captain, but you could see that he knows the game well. Khalid, you could tell he plays, goes to the rack hard, and that's what it is, man. They play hard basketball. Like not one of them takes a break. And you can see it. Like you guys said, they keep themselves accountable. You hear them yelling at each other than the other team more. And you can see it on the score, man. The scores, these guys are killing teams. If they smell blood in the water, they will attack. So I will say that they're definitely hungry from last season.
and even if they're down 10 with like a minute to go, they're not giving up. Um,
Yeah,
they will play to the very last second. And shout out Dame. Dame shooting more threes this season, hitting those threes. Um, you know, he's not just a big man who plays on the inside. Um, he's not shy to shoot those threes this season. And like you said, Smiley, his 3-point shot was off a little bit last week. 2 weeks ago, I think he shot a high percentage from threes. So, but like you said, he can drive to the basket, dish the ball. So, but hey, we expect high things from Free Smoke. Uh, should be a great game against High Q this week.
yeah.
Um, Looking at the 9 o'clock game, we got Bullets 4-1 versus Crash Outs. If Nick and Carl are there and the full squad is there, um, I don't want to use the word upset, but it could be an upset spot. But it shouldn't be considered an upset, in my opinion, if Crash House pull this one out. What do you think?
Ash, you want to go? Or you?
Yeah, I could go. I mean, we played Crash Outs last season in the playoffs. We and we probably had our best game, right? And they still like came out with the W. So yeah, I totally agree. Like, I think them at full health is a really good team. And yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they won.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, man. It's even looking at the schedule here. Like, I don't even know if the divisions are close enough as they could be. So it's a good lineup. So hopefully our expectations are met. Everybody comes healthy. Everybody shows up because it looks like we have a few good games coming up.
Um, final game of the day is going to be Rayon's Broadway Hoops Club um, versus Kibria's Kingsmen. Um, Shout out Kingsmen. We lost a tough game last night in another league, WBA, in the semifinals. So they're probably hungry right now. They don't want to lose this week, 2 games in a row. What do you expect from this game? Start with you, Mo, this time.
I think Kingsman, to be honest, if they have at least half of their team come, they were missing Chima too last week, who like honestly clamps up. He's been more aggressive on the offense this year. He doesn't really look for a shot, but he's one of those guys. If he really wants to go to the rack, it's a layup every time. So if they show up to play, it might be an uphill battle for Broadway Hoops. They got to play almost a near perfect basketball game. No turnovers, hitting the shots. They have Akshay, who I think is one of the best shooters in the league, but he needs some help out there. And Kingsman, their guards are tough, so I expect Eli to get his. But if the other guys show up, it's gonna be tough, man. Yeah, Garajo actually, he's the one that tore his shoulder, guys. So pray for him. But his shoulder's gone. He's done for the season. But everybody else really, they get theirs. So I do expect it's gonna be an uphill battle for Broadway. Ash, what about you?
Yeah. I mean, Broadway Hoops Club, you have Ryan, he's had a really good start to the season, right? He's leading his team. He's pushing the ball up. He's getting his guys involved. He's shooting. I expect, for Kingsman, they're a very fast team, right? So it's almost like you have to, for Broadway Hoops, they have to exert a lot of energy just to keep up with them, right? So do they have the cardio to do that? Right.
Yeah.
I think with the games that I've seen Kingsman play, they have a very balanced team, right? Like you have a lot of guys who kind of like at times lull you to sleep and then like jet to the rim, get the ball, finish the layup. They're a very inside and outside team from what I see. So yeah, like it's gonna be tough, right? But like like honestly, from this league, I feel like you can never be surprised if one team beats another.
Yeah.
Speaking of Broadway Hoops, I think they got the second biggest roster, so everyone shows up. No, use those legs wisely.
Yeah.
Use your substitutions wisely.
Yeah.
Whoever your version of Herb is, make sure he's doing those substitutions right. That's all I'm gonna say. And if not, take some notes or ask him how to
Yeah.
do
There's only
substitutions
one
right.
Herb. There's only one Herb.
Shout out Herb. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that brings our conclusion to next week's games. I'll start. One thing I gotta say, for Sunday, we finally got our trophies in for our season 1 champions, Rim Reapers.
Where are they?
You will see
Hiatus.
them. Oh, where are the Rim Reapers?
Yeah.
They rather watch Sunday football.
Yeah.
So
come on, Jaheen.
Nah.
Next season, hopefully.
They said they're coming back next season.
Yeah.
So, no, you should give them a text for not coming back.
I already did. It's the first game. right when the ball gets tipped. But they were seesawing back and forth. Should we play? Should we
Yeah.
not play? It was back and forth. But trophy presentation Sunday 9 o'clock. Custom trophies with their names and Rim Reaper's logo on it with their names as well, team name on it. So first time doing that. What else? I'll be there Sunday. Um, hopefully Taha's back recording games. What was it? What would you guys think about the recording last week? I know we had my guy Tommy Kerr's recording, and my son recorded the last game. How was the recording last week? Ash?
Is that question for me? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt it was good. I really liked the mic, like using the mic. Yeah, I want to see more and more content. I saw the post from today of the post game interviews. Man, it sounded very good. And I hope that could keep coming.
Absolutely, that was Mo's idea to do post game interviews separately, and then post it separately online on social media. The mic thing, man, my old age, I kept on forgetting to bring it last season, this season, to be honest with you. So what I did was I threw it into my backpack on Saturday to make sure I don't forget this time. So hopefully that'll be a continuing thing. And listen, guys, don't be shy to be on the mic. All I ask is that you talk, just play your normal game. After a couple of minutes, you forget it's even there. Don't even. And if you curse, you're gonna get teed up anyway. So I don't gotta remind you about that. But yeah, so that's my final thoughts. Trophy presentation. Volunteer to get mic'd up, and hopefully Taha's back recording games. What about you, Mo? Any last thoughts?
Listen, I know a lot of people are eager to be on that mic'd up. All I'm gonna say is, listen, we already have a few people interested raising their hand. So I'm excited to see that kind of content. But outside of that, excited for the trophies, Mr. Rim Reapers. Hopefully we see them next season. But yeah, man, halfway through the season, guys, we're doing it. Just a few weeks left, and then playoff time, and then we're gonna talk about what that looks like. But that's really it for me. Ash.
Yeah, just shout out to you guys. Thank you for having me on. Had a really good time, and can't wait to come back. But like you guys do a really good job with with like running the league. It's a really good space to just come like on the weekend, just spend an hour here and then get on with our day, right?
Yeah,
always good.
Appreciate that, man.
And like you said, what's it called? Like Mo was saying, a lot of guys want to be on the mic. Some guys don't even need a mic; they're so loud. Let's put it that way. So
you know who
if
you
you're
are.
one of those guys,
you know who
if
you
you're
are.
one of those guys, you're not getting the mic. I'm telling you right now. Don't be selfish. But hey, I appreciate the positive feedback, and like I said before, if you guys have suggestions how to make the league better, we're all open ears. It's a players' league. We appreciate you guys playing with us, trusting us with your Sunday mornings and your time, your money, obviously. And I appreciate it a lot, especially for the guys that I don't know, I haven't seen before. We hope to continue this, for years to come. So I'm good. Good, Mo? Or first
Yeah, man.
podcast, how you feel?
Oh man, it's good, man. I'm excited. It was fun, and looks like we're gonna have a lot more fun coming on. Shout out
How
to Ash for
often are you
spending
guys
time.
gonna do this, man?
Once a week, that's the plan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hey,
Yeah,
yo,
it's my fault. I apologize.
It's not your fault. Well, we were supposed to do it 2 weeks ago. We had to do a
Yeah.
birthday party thing last second, which is fine. It happens. But a huge shout out to my first partner in crime. I've known this dude for 10, 15 years now. Mr. Robert Jones. He's in the background. He's my producer, director, setting this up, setting up the graphics for us. So he's gonna come on. He can come on right now. He can come on in the future. He don't even need permission. He could bring himself on because he controls all the buttons in the background. I see him. He's chilling right now, probably watching the Yankees post game. My shout out to the Yankee fans. Sorry for your loss. But
Oh, they
you could join
lost.
all the Met fans. Yeah, you could join all the Met fans now. We all gone fishing, but yeah, they lost what 5-2, I think. It just happened right before we came on. I saw a highlight. I mean, the notification. But yeah, if you want to be a guest on the pod, hit me up, hit up Mo. We'll make it happen. We can have more than one guest, you know.
Yeah.
So
I feel
if
like
two
next week,
opponents want to talk,
like next week,
yeah, if
you
two
guys should get
opponents,
like two guests who are facing each other and just like kind of.
exactly. I was
Oh
gonna say if
boy.
two
That's
guys,
how.
if two guys who are playing against each other want to come off with some friendly banter, we're all ears. I didn't think it would go 1 hour, and we're already past 1 hour. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's it. So I want to wish everyone a good night. Thank you, Ash. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Guys. Good night, guys.
All right, guys.
See you guys Sunday morning.
Later.